as you may have heard over the weekend, heartbreaking news. Legendary journalist Barbara Walters passed away at the age of 93. She was the first woman to co-host the Today Show. Then in 1976 at ABC, the first woman to co-host the evening news. Barbara also interviewed world leaders from Yasser Arafat to Margaret Thatcher and every U.S. president since Richard Nixon. She also became well known for her highly rated Barbara Walters specials. Now, on Barbara's last day on The View in 2014, Oprah brought out female broadcasters from Maria Shriver to Diane Sawyer. Another one of those women on Barbara's last day was her good friend, award-winning journalist Joan Lunden, who joins us live. Joan, we appreciate you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. It's always nice to have a chance to reminisce about Barbara because she was unique and special, one of a kind.
One of a kind is right. Joan, we are so sorry for your loss and for everyone's loss here. You met Barbara, though, for the first time when you hosted GMA. Can you just give us, what was she like? I hear she's very funny. And any advice that she passed on to you?
Well, the very first time I met Barbara, and I had been producing and anchoring a noon news show in Sacramento, California, and part of my job was to watch the Today Show every single morning because I could use stories out of the Today Show since it was an NBC affiliate. So I'd been watching her every single morning for like a year and a half. And she was scheduled to come on and talk about one of her primetime specials. And I got the interview. I was so nervous, I can't even begin to tell you.
I'd be so scared.
So intimidated. And I don't remember who the celebrities were in that primetime special, but she took me aside after the commercial and said, I just need to talk to you. She said, do not fight for equality around here. You're not, the time has not come, not just for this industry, but for the society. And you're going to hear from women all the time. Why don't you get to start the show? Why don't you get to end the show? Because I was under the same rules that she had been under with Frank McGee at the Today Show. You can't start the show, end the show. You have to wait for 2 questions before you can talk.
Jeez.
And she said, but it's an amazing position to be in. You just take every small assignment that they'll give you and make every one of those shine, make them memorable. Oh. And that will make you, that's why your star will rise. She said, and one other thing, write thank you notes. She said, people always wonder, how do I get the stars when the movies open? Well, partly it's because when I see in Variety that some star has been cast in a movie or is going to be coming in for a Broadway show, I write them immediately. I write them a handwritten note that says, oh my gosh, this is such a perfect casting. I hope the production goes well. This is going to be great. I can't wait to see it and when it's finished. So when the movie comes out, who do you think they call? Wow. Like she had gone the extra mile. She had created the relationships. And I remember she just said to me, that's why I get the interviews, because I've put the time in. I've gone the extra mile. I've sought them out to go and have lunch or something prior to the movie coming out. So part of that was creating relationships, and that wasn't just trailblazing for women. That kind of raised the bar on the entire news media industry as to how you should go about getting that unattainable get.
Wow. Absolutely. I think some of that has lost over the years. I don't know why or how. And Joan, I want to compliment how great you look. You look fantastic. I don't know if you're allowed to say that anymore, but speaking of sexism, it gets into my next question. Barbara dealt with sexism early in her career. How did that affect her? You kind of touched on it a little bit.
I mean, nobody suffered from sexism, ageism like Barbara did. I mean, she battled for every little step up the way at the Today Show until finally being able to be a co-host. And even then, like I say, she couldn't open the show, end the show, or she had to wait for questions to be asked before she was allowed to speak. And then when she made that jump to ABC, she couldn't pass that up. I mean, it was to become historically the first woman ever to anchor the evening news. But to say it was unpopular among the rest of the industry, which was pretty much 98% male, all the producers, all the other, I mean, there's a story that Sam Donaldson ran through he was an ABC reporter, ran through the halls of ABC News yelling, the women are coming, the women are coming.
Wow.
And I mean, I know somebody who rode up in the elevator with Barbara and Harry Reasoner. They said he couldn't have gotten farther away, wouldn't look at her, wouldn't turn, wouldn't answer her, didn't speak to her. I mean, it was, I just wondered how she could like just preserve her own self-respect and her own self-confidence to be able to sit there. But that's what she could do. She had such a strong backbone. She could be there. I remember she used to say to me too, when you ask a question, if they don't answer, don't feel like you have to fill up the space. Sit there. Let them get a little uncomfortable.
Wow.
And eventually they'll answer. And that's, those are little things that she just always kind of imbued to me. I mean, she was a mentor. She was also just, I never used to want to call her motherly because I was afraid that she would think I was saying she was so much older when she actually was, but it was just a female not wanting to make another female seem older. But she really mothered me big time.
Wow. Really quickly, we have about 20 seconds. What would you say her legacy is?
Oh my gosh. Raising the bar of the industry, making every news journalist out there better at their job, and certainly laying down the path for every other female that has come, along to be able to, like a person like me, to be able to get that job at Good Morning America.
Beautifully said. You too, though, Joan. We wouldn't be, us females would not be sitting here. I wouldn't be here without you.
Absolutely.
So we thank you, and also for taking the time today to share those very special memories about Barbara with us. We appreciate you. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joan.